Right. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for attending today's webinar. Today we are hosting with LIM College, great location in New York. Today we had invited Angel to be the speaker, and then she will be also answering your QAs later on. Angel, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Angel Ahmed, and I work in New York City with LIM College. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you so much. So today we're going to cover a couple topics, including STEM OPT eligibilities, the real project to build your O-1 profile, special tuition discounts, and then, like I said, we will also be able to answer your questions at the last QA section. So if you do have questions, please do not drop it in the chat box. Please drop it in the QA. We will collect your questions and then answer them at the very end of the webinar. And then due to the time, sometimes we cannot get to your questions. Don't worry about it. Feel free to scan the QR code, and then our consultants will try their best to answer your question. Right? So before we move on, before we start, I'll give you a little overview of who we are and what we do. As Go Elite, we're located in Los Angeles, dedicating helping international students, including university applications and CPT program consultations. We also help with F1 reinstatement, emergency transfer, including change of status application as well. We are ARC certified. We also launched the reward program probably last year. And then we had already have a lot of students sign up to the reward program. Feel free to do so if you haven't yet signed up. We aiming to create a community hosting all the hybrid professional program students within this community and help them with all the topic that you're interested in, including, when it's on-site. We also have course evaluation for students to look at the professors ahead of time. We are on Google reviews, so if you satisfy or have a suggestion, feel free to drop in to the Google. We're also on various platforms of social media. We tend to oftenly post immigration-related information, F1 student-related information, and hybrid professional program-related information on their social media, on our social media platform. Feel free to follow us if you want to, and I will hand this presentation to Angel.
Thank you so much. And I'm just going to share my screen. Let me just make sure everyone can see can you see my slides?
Yes.
Perfect. So I'm going to talk today a little bit about why LIM College. So we're very excited about partnering with Go Elite and working with students onshore here in the US. For the past 80 years, over 80 years, LIM College has been one of the leaders in fashion and business programs. So we are one of the top schools in fashion in the Northeast. We were founded for merchandising. So merchandising and marketing was our founding programs that we started over 85 years ago. We started as a training program for Macy's. So we have a deep ties into industry relations. It's something we're very proud of. You could take a look at LIM. We've weathered all the storms being around longer. We were one of the first fashion schools in Manhattan. So we're very proud of that. And it's something that for many years we've had international students and work very closely with them to ensure their success as well. Again, as I mentioned, one of the focuses of LIM is experiential learning. So the way we have begun our program was through work experience. We are in the heart of New York City. We're right in Midtown Manhattan on 45th Street, where all the top global fashion companies as well as business companies are. Our faculty, many of them are working in the industry. So one of the requirements, some of them are continuing to work, but many of them have worked in the industry, not only here in New York City, but around the world. We also have full-time and adjunct faculty. Many of our adjunct faculty have also taught at some of the other institutions. We are very unique that we have is we have a career services team. So sometimes when you work with the institution, they don't have a dedicated team for career services. At LIM College, we do. Again, we were founded as a part of a training program. So that's something that we've integrated from day one is experiential learning. So along with getting an academic advisor, you also get a career service advisor. And this career service advisor helps you with all aspects of building your career, maintaining your job, issuing CPT. Those are some of the strengths of the college. Outcomes, we're very proud that we have a very strong placement rate, helping students to find opportunities. Although we can't guarantee them, we do have a very, very high rate of students getting job opportunities and CPT and OPT. So that's something we're very proud of. And being a career-based college in the heart of New York City definitely adds value to that. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of our history. As I mentioned, we were founded 85 years ago. LIM comes from our original name, Laboratory Institute of Merchandising. The LIM stands for that, and that's how we were founded initially back in 85 years ago. And again, like I said, we were originally the training program for Macy's. That's how we were developed, was to train staff and merchandisers in the retail sector on how to be merchandisers, marketers, journalists. That's how we were originally founded. And then now, 85 years later, we've gone through 3 different presidents, and our new president, Ron Marshall. Ron Marshall was also the CEO of several retail companies, including Claire's and Borders Books. So we pride ourselves in having strong connections to industry, which is different than many colleges where they're more theory-based, but we are very hands-on, experiential-based. So one of the things we're proud of is that we equip students with the education and experiences and connections to become business leaders in a $1 trillion global fashion and lifestyle industry. So I think it's very important to understand where you're not only going to be getting selected courses, but you're also going to get the experience and the connections from LIM. We host our own job fairs. We do a lot of connections that are just dedicated to our students. So that's something that's unique that some colleges don't always offer. The other thing to keep in mind is fashion is much bigger than what you think. We have students working at all different aspects: Google, Apple, Microsoft, Spotify, all the different types of tech companies, in addition to fashion retail companies. Macy's is a strong partner of ours, Tiffany, Hermes, Nike. We have partners at all aspects. And I think that's one of the things that we're proud of, as well as the relationships we have to the industry. We also have an industry advisory board, which consists of industry leaders that work for top Fortune 500 companies. They help us to design our curriculum, design our CPT, design our relationships to strengthen the career mobility of our students. So that's something that is unique. And I have to say, it has a lot to do with where we're located in New York. That's always a value to our students. Some of the skills that you'll learn when you're at LIM, specifically in our marketing program, has data analysis, negotiation skills, critical thinking, problem solving, decision making, emotional intelligence, digital skills, visual communication, and business writing. So our master's degree are really designed for that professional that wants to upskill and prepare themselves for a job. And that's where we incorporate the courses and the experiential learning and internships into one curriculum. Okay. Next slide. As I said, we are in the Midtown, the heart of Manhattan, right next to 42nd Street. If you're familiar with New York City, we're right near where the Chrysler Building, right by Fifth Avenue, is where our location. We have one location, which is right at 45th and 5th, and our second location is at 45th between 2nd and 3rd. There's so many big companies here, over 900 fashion companies and corporate headquarters, major fashion businesses, as well as other businesses, marketing companies, PR agencies. All of the technology companies are in Manhattan. It's one of the most diverse and safe cities in the world, right? It's very welcoming to international students. And actually, many of our employers are looking for multilingual students and international students to thrive in their companies. So that's one of the great things about being in a New York, building those connections, not only with LIM, but through our career relationships is really important. I don't think I'm a true New Yorker, so I've been to cities all over the world, and I still think New York is one of the best places to build your career. So it's an exciting that we're right in Midtown, and the connections that we have are really, they're more valuable to us than anything that we have at the school. Again, as I mentioned, we have our career outcomes rate. 95% of our students, after they graduate, have careers in their field of study. So we're very proud of that. It's, we're not a big school. We don't have 200 programs. We're very focused in business and fashion. That's where our strength is. And so we're very proud in helping our students to succeed in their careers. We're represented with students from 31 states. Our faculty to student ratio is small, which means your class size is small. So usually you'll have about 8 students per faculty. And then we are very international. Our graduate program is about 55% international. So we have students from all over the world and about 45% domestic students, American students. And there's over 24 countries represented. So we have students from all over the world, China, India, Korea, a lot of European students. So it is very diverse, the student body at LIM. I think that's also one of our strengths is you're not going to just see a cohort of one student. You're going to see multinational students. You're going to see them from all over the world. And I think that also helps you to strengthen your relationships when you are on campus. So you have that opportunity of meeting not only our faculty and careers advisors, but also your fellow students. Many of our students are working in the industry, so it also strengthens your connection. I want to say I think LIM students are one of the most creative, where they collaborate, they create businesses together, they work on projects, not only in the classroom, but outside of the classroom as well. So that's what's exciting about coming to New York City and LIM. So I want to talk a little bit about our low residency and high flex education model. And what's unique about LIM is we always traditionally had CPT. We were actually one of the first colleges to integrate CPT over 10 years ago. And we did that because internships are a big part of what we do. And in our master's program, even before the high flex, 3 semesters, every semester we wanted students to intern. So it was 3 semesters of internships, CPT internships. So that's a big piece of what the degree program was built on. Our high flex program is developed for the professional that is career oriented. They only have to come to class once a month in person. We've developed the courses with online, synchronous, and asynchronous courses. You are CPT eligible from the first semester and throughout your entire program. And as I mentioned, you will get a career advisor. So our admissions process and our team were very well versed in working with international students and supporting our international students. As I said, we have over 55% international. So we are a school that is going to work with you. So you're not only going to enroll in admissions and have to wait. We have an open door policy where we support our international students and enrolling them in CPT. You do have mandatory residencies on the weekend, so we would require you to come once a month in person. And, we really want students to take advantage of that time at LIM with your professor, also being in New York City. I think it's going to be important for when you are on campus for you to be building those connections. But you're also allowed to participate in virtual events, any other events that happen at LIM throughout the year. We have a fashion show that's very exciting. A lot of industry professionals are at our fashion show, and we have different events throughout the year, job fairs virtually and in person that you can also participate in. But your mandatory residencies would be once a month on the weekend. We also provide capstone project and industry competitions. So a lot of our students are active in the industry. They're doing projects and competing, for prizes with Michael Kors and Louis Vuitton and Saks Fifth Avenue. There's a lot of competitions in your capstone projects. You will be required to do a project and even apply to an industry competition when one's available. So that's something that we really encourage. Even our students that are here in this high flex program is that interaction, getting involved with guest speakers, doing activities virtually and also in person when you're able to come to New York. I think those things are really important to us to keep a student engaged. One of the great things with this program as well is once you graduate, you still can use our career services as an extension to build those connections. And we have our own system of posting jobs, our own job fairs. And so that's some unique stuff that any student that graduates from our program will be able to do. And we have many students that will come back to us for help and assistance. So that even studying this type of program, you would receive that type of support even after you graduate. So a sample of our course, and I'll just go into some detail here. really it's a fashion marketing course, but it is a strong digital media marketing and strategic digital marketing course. So even though it is in the industry, they're transferable skills. And I think every company now is looking at marketing, no matter if you're, Lexus or Toyota or Madison Square Gardens or Google, everybody's looking for these marketing skills. And we have a lot of students that will apply and create their own company to then run digital marketing and PR for different companies. So we work with a lot of PR agencies, and a lot of our students are very active in especially in this specific degree. Some of the sample courses are going to be marketing metrics, e-commerce, m-conference, commerce, and s-commerce marketing, advanced web analytics and SEO, global luxury brand marketing. So this global luxury brand is not for just fashion. There's also car dealers, home dealers, hotel brands, restaurant brands that need skill sets in the global luxury brand marketing. Also, strategic digital communications in the fashion industry, and then again your CPT internship. So those are some of the courses that you will take. If you would like more details, we can share the course names and catalog with you after this webinar. But those are some of the courses you'll be taking. Some of the potential careers: strong advertising, brand management, digital marketing, e-commerce, fashion media, and public relations. These are strong careers, whether they're in the fashion industry or another industry. All of these careers are relevant in companies these days. And I definitely think this is one of our most popular degrees, and a lot of our students have success. Some of our internships that you would be doing, some of the companies we work with: Bloomingdale's, French Connection, Hermes, Interview Magazine, the Luxury Marketing Council. These are different companies. We work with hundreds of companies here in New York and around the world that hire our students to intern for them. So that's something that's very interesting for our students. But this particular degree, there is a lot of opportunity in the industry and a lot of strength in the sample courses that you're going to learn that are very relevant to today's workforce. Okay. So again, it's I mentioned that our students in our HighFlex program can get involved. There are a lot of clubs and organizations. We produce a magazine that's distributed quarterly at all the fashion shows around New York City, at all of the retailers. It's called the Lexington line. So our students actually write the articles, take the pictures, produce the magazine every quarter. It's so you could join that even if you're a virtual student and join those clubs. We have a Black Retail Action Club, LGBTQ Alliance, sustainability is strong. So these are all clubs that you can join. Also, you can attend virtual events. We do host several virtual events that we encourage our HighFlex students to get involved in. So you can see a few here where these are guest speakers that are speaking. So we had Carly Kushney. She's a creative director and fashion designer. Tamika Young, she's from Hinge. Hillary Super, she's from Savage Fenty. Sam Aldman from Sam and Libby. So these are all guest speakers where you can actually be on Zoom and interact and attend this virtual event where you're hearing them speak and also ask them questions and build those connections. Again, we also have virtual career fairs. These career fairs are specific for LIM students, which means they are not open to the public. These particular brands do a career fair. They come in and they actually speak to LIM students only to hire them for jobs. So that's something that we have specifically set up with these retailers. And you may not know LIM, but many of these retailers know us because we've been around 85 years in New York City. So that's something that we encourage you to participate in as well. I know we talked a little bit about master classes, competitions. We have a capstone showcase where in your final semester, you will be showcasing your capstone project. We invite industry leaders to that event as well. There's licensing and analytics masterclass that we host, social impact and design thinking masterclasses, AI, sustainability and fashion conference, Thread, the program with industry partners. So sometimes these masterclasses are hosted by our alumni. Sometimes they are hosted by an industry professional. So that's something that we encourage students to participate in. And then you can also add these areas to your resume. So it's an advantage because while you're in the US, outside of just the studying and the earning the degree, you also want to be building your portfolio and your resume. And most importantly, the connections. I think the connections, I go to LIM every day and I'm always meeting somebody new. And, the editor from Vogue just spoke to our students, and it's just very exciting to have that opportunity to network with these level of industry professionals, meet them, ask them questions, connect with them on LinkedIn. I think that's invaluable. Um, so you're not only getting the courses, you're also getting the opportunity to build a network. Okay, so here again are just a brief snapshot of some of our industry partners. Now, these are not industry partners that one student has went to. These are industry partners that continuously come to our job fairs, continuously hire our students as interns. So this isn't a one alumni worked at this company. We consistently have a relationship with these companies. They come to us when they need to hire people. If they have temporary positions open or they're looking to fill a, a position, they come to LIM, to our career services, to look for um, students that they can hire. We also work with them on capstone projects where our students are able to work on a project for one of the brands. And the reason for this is because it's going to be amazing when you graduate and have your master's degree on your resume. But what's going to be even more amazing is when you have your master's degree and said you worked on a project for Louis Vuitton in New York City. I think you need things as an international student to stand out on your resume that is going to separate you from the many. And that's one of the things that we want to provide our students. Again, I mentioned our office and career services. You have a dedicated career services team and internship services. Some of the areas that they'll focus on when they're working with you are reviewing your resume, building your resume, looking at your cover letter reviews, interview preparation, mock interviews. This can be done virtually. We really want, when you have the opportunity to interview, or if you're trying to upskill and get a better internship, that practice really helps you prepare. The job at internship search assistant. So we will help you and support you looking for these jobs and internships. We do a social media and portfolio review. This is something that's really important right now. A lot of HR companies, they'll look at your social media, they'll look at your portfolio of what you've done before hiring you. Career readiness workshops and events. Again, I've worked with a lot of universities, and I think LIM does an amazing job of hosting career readiness workshops and events. For a small school, we do it at a very large scale because of our industry relationships. We also have a career management system that houses so this is something that LIM specifically has. It houses our online internship opportunities and job listings. As I mentioned, graduate students and alumni have lifetime access. So which means anytime in your lifetime, you could always reference and come back to LIM and ask for job searches or job help or placement help. You could submit your resume online and your cover letter to apply for available positions. New opportunities and employers are updated daily. And we also specifically look for opportunities for our international students. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So if you're ready to start, these are some of our admissions processes. And again, we streamline our admissions. So if you're interested in enrolling, we work with international students. The minute that you express interest, you would complete an online application. We require a personal essay, your official college transcripts, letter of recommendation, resume and activity sheet. And all of this can be uploaded via our portal. A verification of language proficiency if you haven't studied in the US. If you have studied in the US, we can waive this based on the previous college that you studied at. We do an in-person or video conference interview with an admissions counselor. Sometimes this is required, sometimes it's not required, just depends on your application. But that's something that we work with you on. And again, we streamline this process, answer any questions. I know many times students that are looking at high flex programs have questions about their visa status. So in our admissions department, we have a DSO that is certified to answer any questions that can help you understand the process. If you have questions about transferring your visa, change of status, all of those areas, so we can support you with any of those questions. Okay, so that's pretty much the presentation that I have so far. I'm sure that you guys have some questions, so I'm happy to answer any questions that you have in regards to the program details.
Thank you so much. Now I will share the QA and then we can start to answer the questions. Right. So the very first one is, can I join the program if I don't work in fashion industry? For example, can I join as business data analytics?
Absolutely. Analytics and a data analyst would qualify, as this is a marketing degree. Keep in mind, it doesn't have to be in the fashion industry. It's just an area of focus. So you can be in a business. We have a lot of alumni interning with a lot of students and alumni working with Microsoft, Google. So it does not have to be a company in the fashion industry. It's more the tactics of the job, the role that you'll be having.
Thank you so much. The next question is, if I can't make it for on-site weekend, can I reschedule to another day?
So with the high flex program, your in-person time is really important because it's dictated by CVIS. So it would have to be an emergency situation. We would try to work with you, but it's going to be very mandatory and important that you make the in-person courses. But we try to work with every student when we can. It would be on a case-by-case basis. So it wouldn't be something that we would just approve. We would try to work with you, but it is going to be important that you are in person during the selected times.
Thank you. The next question is, do LIM offer an on-campus job opportunities?
Absolutely. We have student workers in admission in all divisions of the school, and we look to hire international students for those roles. We have a big international department, so many times international student workers are requested to work with our international students. So we absolutely have those opportunities.
Thank you so much. The next question is similar with the first one. I am an SEO specialist, but I don't work in fashion industry. Can I work on the CPT for the program?
Absolutely. Again, many of the companies we work with are not just fashion companies, so this would be absolutely fine.
All right, thank you so much. I see someone raised your hand. If you have a question, please drop in the QA section. Sorry, we will not be able to answer the question live. But thank you. The next one is, where can I check the curriculum online?
If you go to our website, you can download, you can see a snapshot, a synopsis of the curriculum, and then you can also download our catalog. And the catalog will have details on the syllabus. If you have specific questions, I'm happy to schedule time to review what you're going to be learning. We can schedule time with our dean as well. Again, we're very open to communicating with students and answering any questions that they have about the curriculum.
Thank you so much. And if you struggling in connecting or finding the email address, feel free to reach out to Go Elite. We're happy to connect you with Angel and then whoever can help you on this matter. And I believe we will be able to provide you all the necessary information. Thank you so much. The next question is, am I able to change an employer in the middle of the program? How long is the processing time?
So these situations do happen. We try to work with every student. It's going to be important that you communicate with the DSO about any change of employers and employment, and you get updated letters. But we do work with each student. Processing time depends on when you give us the updates and the documents. Again, we do have a DSO in career services. So I think with many schools, they have one DSO that sits in one division. We have a DSO in career services and in admissions, and this is to support students with career situations. So, but the processing time will depend on the situation and the job letters and getting the information. But we do try to work very quickly with our students.
Thank you so much. And the next one is, when is the application deadline for the upcoming intake?
So we have a start that's starting next week. We do have openings available. We have some students transferring in. So I would say the spring start, you still have about another week to start. So sometime next week would be the deadline for students coming into our spring cohort.
Thank you so much. LIM is pretty flexible with the application deadline, so please feel free to drop in your application. Since the deadline is approaching, have all the documents ready will help university to process your application faster. So thank you so much for answering that. The next one is, can we finish the program within a year?
Absolutely, you can finish the program in a year. If students want to take accelerated classes or take more credits, it's at your flexibility. We do have students who want to finish in a year, or some students want to take the summer break. So we're flexible in that, but you can finish the program in a year based on your credits, how many credits you take.
Thank you. Um, the next question is, do you provide payment plan or any scholarship?
We don't have a set payment plan that we provide. We do offer student scholarships based on your GPA. So once you submit your transcripts, we will review you for any available scholarships. And that's usually up to $15,000.
Thank you so much. The next question is, if I secure an internship in the middle of the program, how soon can I start working?
So that will depend on once you process your paperwork. So that having the employer fill out the letter, getting that processed. I mean, again, we've seen students get this done in a matter of, a week, 48 hours. It really depends on when you have all the documentation completed. Our career services will work with you on that and establishing a timeline. But it
So
really
pretty,
varies based on the paperwork that you submit.
got it. Thank you. I have a follow-up question. So pretty much is the CPT application could be submitted anytime during the program or during the semester. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you so much. The next question is, if I already have an MS marketing degree and working in marketing industry, do you recommend this program for my second master?
I think it's going to depend on when you took that marketing degree, what school, and what was the course that you took. Because there are some marketing degrees that aren't focused on digital. This is very, if you saw the courses, we have like global brand marketing. It's very tailored to upskill and give you more of a strategic refinement in your marketing. So it really is going to depend on what I've seen marketing courses from other companies. And keep in mind, SEO and digital marketing is always evolving, especially with like the use of AI and all of the different tools that are relevant now. So it really depends on the timing of when you took it and where you took it. I also do feel, and we get a lot of students that transfer from other schools. Sometimes they were in the Midwest or they were in another state and they were not in a New York City. And there's a big difference between studying in Indiana and studying in New York City. It's a difference in who teaches you. It's a difference in what type of internship you're doing. It's just a different skill set that you're going to learn when you're studying in New York versus other states. So I think that's important to keep in mind in looking at the program.
Thank you so much. And then to add on this, if you're concerned in terms of USCIS requirement regulations, there's two suggestions. One is look at the zip code for the two programs. Second is look at the curriculum. Most of the time, USCIS officers will also look at the curriculum for both degrees that you held. Make sure there is no more than 60% of the similarity in terms of courses. The next question is, I only have GPA of 2.9. Can I still get admission?
Absolutely. We do look at students holistically. So we also are not just going to look at your GPA. We're going to look at your resume and the other activities you completed, not just your GPA. So we do a holistic review for admissions.
Thank you so much. The next question is, what conferences, contests, or event opportunities there are? I'm trying to build my O-1 portfolio.
So this is New York City. There's something happening every day here. So I could definitely say there's a lot of activities. I mean, every fashion show in New York, every event in New York, their students have opportunities to volunteer. They have opportunities to intern. We have a lot of students that are influencers or they run their own marketing company that are at the school. So there's a lot of, textile conferences, the American Marketing Association conferences here, all of the live events. I mean, that's one of the great things about being in New York City or working or attending a school in New York City is every day there's lists of events both virtual and in person that students can participate in to build their portfolio. I do think also we have a lot of students that will do a day in a life in New York City, and they're building their following, they're building their connections through that. They're meeting other influencers, they're meeting other YouTubers and bloggers, and they're becoming artists. They're creating profiles, and the tag influencer. It's a whole industry now. It's not just a job. It's a huge industry, and many brands are hiring influencers full time. So it's definitely a lot of opportunities. And I would definitely at LIM we try to round up all those opportunities and target them to our students. But you could put in ChatGPT what's happening in New York City, and you're going to get a list every day. And that's something that we try to build those connections for our students as well. So I definitely think you're not going to find a better place to build your portfolio than New York.
Thank you. The next one is, if I lose my job, will school have resources to help me find a new job? I think Andrew touched that
Absolutely.
on the president. Please, sorry.
Absolutely. Yep.
Thank you so much. The next thing is, what kind of immigration support does LIM have for international students?
Again, like I said, we have CSOs in admissions, in student services, and in career services. And we've separated those positions because of how many international students we have. Um, but they're distinct. They know strategically where they help with. And I think that because we are a school that is accustomed to international students, we're accustomed to answering these questions. So we give strong immigration support for our students. That's something that students can definitely take advantage of at LIM.
Thank you so much. The next one is, how long is the online classes during the week?
So it depends. It depends on the course. It varies between an hour and a half to 2 hours. Some of them are synchronous, some are asynchronous. So it's going to be depending on the coursework in the class. So it does vary.
Thank you. The next one is, the campus location is great, very close to where I live, but I actually work in finance. How should I justify myself to study fashion marketing?
So I think when students are wanting to upskill more and more, I mean, and it's actually supported where you're earning, you want different qualifications. So if you're working in finance, or let's say you want to open your own business one day, or you want to grow in your position, if you look at a CEO has multiple skills, right? They're not just skilled in one area. So I definitely think if it would be used as you're wanting to upskill. And fashion could be one of the industries, but again, like I said, it's a traditional marketing degree, and fashion happens to be one of the industries. Finance and fashion go hand in hand. So that's something that I definitely think it would be the way that I would justify it is by upskilling. And as you mentioned, the SEP codes of the difference in the programs, and learning a new skill set since you're here, and how to market yourself is important.
Thank you. The next one is, can I transfer my MBA program credit to this program?
We do offer some credit transfers, so it would be based on the transcript and the grade that you receive. But we do allow transfer credits into this program.
Thank you so much. Is there a maximum credit can be transferred in?
It depends on the program. I want to say it's normally 6 credits, but we have had 9 at some. It just depends on the grade in the courses.
Got it. Thank you so much. The next one is, can we extend the program longer than 20 months? What's the policy for summer break?
So we do allow students to take off summers. Some students want to do CPT. We do have, again, this would be kind of a case by case basis. Traditionally, the program is 20 months, but we have had students that fall into scenarios, or we try our best to work with them. But it's based on a 20-month curriculum at this time.
Thank you. The last question is, can I work 2 jobs on CPT, one full-time, one part-time?
So this is a sticky area, right? You're going to take from your OPT. We encourage students to work part-time CPT, not to work 2 jobs. So that's something you want to be very cautious with that when you're doing this. And keep in mind that if you haven't used OPT, that it will take away from your OPT if you do full-time CPT. So it is an area we're cautious with for students. So we do not encourage this.
Thank you. And sorry to follow up, ask this question. If the student already use OPT in the master level. So then as the second master, they would not have OPT whatsoever. But policy-wise, will they be allowed working on two jobs on
I
CPT
mean,
or no?
we have it, in that situation, it's a little bit different. But again, traditionally we say one job, but we have had students who've done something part-time in addition. We don't encourage it, but we work with the student in that situation. This is
No,
like a
understand.
case by case scenario because we've had some students who they'll be working full time, like as a marketing intern, or they'll be in a
Mhm.
marketing company, and then they do event planning on the side. So
Got
it's more like seasonal. I mean, especially in New York, sometimes you got to work two jobs.
it.
So we have had situations like this. It depends on the scenario of what
Got it.
those jobs are.
Understand. Thank you so much for answering the questions. And thank you so much, guys, for posting those questions. I believe through their presentation and through the QA section, we can tell LIM it's very supportive, very flexible. So if you haven't yet submitted your application and looking into enroll to the upcoming intakes, please do so as soon as possible. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to scan the QR code, reach out to us. Or if you have questions to Andros or to school officials, we're happy to connect you with them. And that will be everything for today's webinar. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you. Thank you so
Bye,
much.
guys.